Crossing the threshold doesn't feel like triumph. You'd think it would, but it doesn't. It feels almost like a death. Not the kind they warned you about, not sin or failure or punishment, but a much quieter kind. The death of strategies, of performances, of the man who survived through calibration. Because when you finally choose coherence, not as a performance, but as a frequency, your old life begins to fall away. And it hurts, not because it was good, but because it was familiar. This is the grief that no one prepares you for, that the pain of distortion was real, but so was the comfort. You knew who to be in that life. You knew the lines, the masks, the angles, the explanations. But now you're walking without armor. Now you're speaking without a script. Now you're living without a fallback position. And everything feels wrong, but it's not wrong. It's just new and it's unfamiliar. Coherence is not peaceful at first. It's violent to the parts of you that only learn to exist through pleasing, through adaptation, and through emotional management. You say what's true and your nervous system revolts. You disappoint someone and your body erupts. You make a clean decision and the old guilt rises like a ghost trying to drag you back. This is rebirth. It's not symbolic, it's a stripping, a burning, a resurrection. And like any real birth, it's messy, it's bloody, it's loud, it's painful, but it's also holy and sacred. Because now you're no longer performing transformation, you are becoming it. This is when the illusions fall. You no longer get to blame the system. You no longer get to blame your parents. You no longer get to blame the woman in your life or your culture or the government or your boss or your wounds or your past. Because now you see the structure from the inside, and seeing it means owning your participation in it. And this is the terrifying liberation, that you can no longer pretend that you don't know. And with that knowing comes self-command, not domination or control, but life authorship. You begin to, let's say, source your words from a deeper place. You stop asking the room for feedback before you speak. You stop softening your truth to protect someone else's fragility, and you stop apologizing for being whole. And yet you feel much less certain than ever, because coherence is not confidence, it's simply clarity without defense. And here's what changes. You no longer feel the need to win an argument. You no longer need to be right. You don't need to explain the energy that led you to leave the party early, or end the relationship or the friendship, or say no when everyone else said yes. You don't need a reason, because you are the reason. And that's when the world begins to shift, very subtly at first, and then unmistakably, undeniably. People treat you differently, some with reverence, some with distance, some with confusion, because the game you were playing, you've left the field. You don't explain your value anymore. You don't barter for space. You don't leak signal to stay connected. You walk, and in your walk is your word. This is coherence. It's not a mood. It's not a tone. It's not an aesthetic. It's not a performance. It's a reality, and a reality that is sourced from alignment and held by discipline and made visible through rebirth. And yes, again, as I've said so many times, you will lose things. You lose dynamics that fed on your self-betrayal. You lose relationships and friendships that depended upon your softness. And you lose identities that thrived on your indecision. But what rises in return is not a new role, it's a new man. A man who says little but means every word. A man who is not louder but heavier, not in sorrow but in signal. A man who no longer performs being trustworthy because his integrity has been so embodied that people feel it before he even speaks. This is the rebirth. This is the resurrection. It's not a new coat of paint. It's not a fresh vocabulary. It's a return to what was always there beneath the noise. And now that is the version that leads. And what it leads is not just your life. It leads the lives of those around you out of the maze of conditional expression and into the field of what cannot be faked. Coherence is rebirth, and rebirth hurts, but it hurts like truth. It hurts like fire. It hurts like remembering. And once remembered, you never ever forget again. Welcome to The Architect Speaks.